So I'm going to have you go into your settings, and you can adjust all of this all the time. So if you're like, oh, dang, I wanted to add period numbers. Great. Go back and adjust your class name. Oh, I really like how the 2526 Gerbata shows up on her homepage. Okay, that was in section. So when I go in, I'll go in on this one. You're welcome to adjust this all the time. I was playing around with it a little earlier, and if you put in a description here and you save it, you can see it. I don't think it's necessary, but if you click the little I, it shows up additional information. I have never ever once used that ever, but if you're wanting that extra information, click on the I and then it all kind of shows up. Okay, so general settings, what can you do? If you're looking at the invite code and you're like, oh my gosh, that is not appropriate, my kids are going to laugh and we're going to get off track, or it just sounds weird, it looks weird, you can go in and you can reset the code, or you can just straight turn it off. Like, you do not want anyone accidentally joining your classroom with the code. You can turn it all the way off if you want. You can reset it if you'd like, and all it will do is change this like 53H2KXPV. It'll change that piece. You can copy the invite link from here, which you could do from the other screen as well. You can display the class code, which you could do from the other screen as well. For stream, I learned the hard way when I taught at the middle school level that if I leave it where students can post and comment, it got a little wacky. Granted, that was a long time ago, but I pretty much always set it to only teachers can post or comment. I maybe would be okay if it was students. Like, I thought about it for my Avid class. If they need, hey, what was the homework? Hey, can someone help me? But I figure they probably already have phone numbers and they've got other ways to communicate. So I do it only teachers, but that's personal preference. The other one for notifications, it drives me crazy when students go to the homepage and they look at, okay, here's bio, and they get into bio and they click on the first assignment they see in the stream, because maybe I'm posting more than one thing, or I don't know, I want them to do the second one down first, and it drives me nuts. So I actually hide all notifications on my stream for classwork. So my stream stays only as kind of an announcement style page. Again, personal preference, that's up to you. Guardian access is actually very cool. So I'm going to masquerade as my son really quickly, and I'm going to show you kind of what does it look like. Ooh. Will my memory serve? Okay. So I'm going to just look as Henry. What does it look like? And I put him into our class. So this is what Henry sees, okay, which is exactly what you see. This is the student view. Yes. Okay. What it looks like as a parent is actually very, very different. So that's the student view, right? If I go to, I think I can do it here. If I go to my, do I have to go to my personal? Okay. If I go where Henry is, I'm linked as Henry's parent. No. Oh, I know why. I'm in the wrong class. No, I'm just going to go away. If I go to this class, no, settings. Okay. Okay. This is what you see as a parent or guardian. So notice it has a little eyeball and it tells you, hey, you're looking at a slightly different view, but I can see everything that you guys can see. So I can see here's the checklist. I can see here's the slideshow. I can see the question, but notice I can't see the answer options. I can't respond. I can't do the assignment, But I really, really love this, especially because my little guys, they're small and they're learning a new language. They're in DLI. And so there are days I'm like, buddy, I don't know how to help you. I don't know what your teacher said. I don't know how they explained it. This is very cool. The way you get this is you go to in your settings, you have this turned on. You copy this link and then you share this with guardians. So you send this link to parents and they can sign up and they can see kind of what their student sees. Meet link. I have never used one since COVID days. If you would like a Meet link though, there's a Meet link. So any RVS people, maybe you would do your Meet link here and then make it visible to students. For grading, this is something I don't know tons about because I work at the secondary level. I do all my grading in Aeries, but every once in a while I do grade an assignment in Classroom. I just don't have Classroom be my entire grade book. So you can add grading periods. It will kind of automatically align with the due dates that you put on assignments. So if you're interested, you can do that. You can do grade scales. So you can tell it, I want this to be an A, I want this to be a B, etc. You can say for any missing assignment, I want you to automatically put it as a 0. You can say, hey, for grades, I want to do categories and I want a classwork and homework and a test category. And you can kind of mimic what we can do in Aeries with your gradebook all through here. Again, I don't use that. I can walk you through if you're like, oh, Jessie, I don't know how to do that. I can kind of click and learn alongside with you. But this is not something I've ever used personally because I use Aeries for all of that. So if you're trying to customize your class, that's all in settings from within your Google Classroom. There are a few settings outside of your individual classroom. So if you're playing along and you're in Google Classroom and you go to the home page, or actually I guess to any page, the little menu pops up, go all the way down to the bottom to settings. This will be settings for your entire Google Classroom, not your individual classes within Google Classroom. So if you are interested, you can have it automatically turn on or off Guardian Access for all your future classes. You can tell it, how do I want to be notified? I want emails. I don't want any emails. I would not recommend turning off all emails because then you're not going to get anything from Classroom. But you can adjust kind of what does it look like? What does it look like for classes you're enrolled in versus classes you teach? What kind of notifications do you want to get? Okay, so you can kind of adjust big whole Google Classroom settings from the left-hand side menu all the way down at the bottom. If you're trying to adjust settings for just that one class, you have to be inside that class and use the settings wheel over on the right. The last thing for kind of customizing settings, creating, getting kids in, my Google Classrooms are all like, I tried to do cutesy banners. I don't know, just because. So if you're wanting a cutesy banner just because, you would not necessarily go here and go select photo because that's going to be whatever Google has in store. What you would want to do instead, I made mine through Canva, and I'm not a mega creative graphic design person. So I said Google Classroom header. And I just customized one off of that. Hello? Yes. Can we search for that? Oh, there we go. So I was like, oh yeah, this one looks great. Adjust it to my class, like to my name, my class, whatever. Save it. And then when I go back to Google Classroom, I can tell it to upload, pick that picture I just made or header I just made and put it in that way. And then you can pick whatever color you want that kind of matches best. These I don't think are customizable. What you see here is what you get. But that's if you wanted to do sort of the like cutesy customized classroom header. Okay, I'm going to pause because I feel like already that was a lot, especially if you were my two, like, I'm pretty new at this. I need help with lots of it. So Can I answer any questions? Can I go back and show you something? Give you a second to just think about all those different pieces. I have chat open right here, or just unmute. I'm mega casual. Let me know how I can help. Okay, I hear you. So the next thing I was going to go through was types of posts. Is anyone in here super interested in grading 100% in Aeries? And like, how do I grade individual assignments? Sorry, I said Aeries. Grading in Google Classroom, 100% grading in Google Classroom. Okay. Beautiful. We're going to skip over grading and we'll try to get to some of those cool extras. So I'm going to go back to my test class, and everything that you're going to do pretty much lives in Create. So here's the quick run through version. Assignment is if you want there to be a very specific deadline and you want kids to turn something in. Kami assignment is if you want students to do an assignment in Kami. It will take them out to Kami. They can do their assignment and they can turn it back in. It'll show up in classroom. Quiz assignment is you want to make a new Google Form quiz from here, because you can make a quiz through assignment, but if you don't have the form made yet, you can do it through quiz. It'll start a new form for you. Question is like what I had here for you guys. This, I think, is one of the unsung heroes. This is a really good way to collect information without having to kind of go grade things. And it looks really, really, really beautiful if you have kids even write stuff out. So I can pull up an archived classroom from last year and I can show you an example of that. It's just kind of a streamlined way. You're trying to do a quick check to read through everyone's work instead of having to click through all those different documents. So question is quite literally a question, but you can use it for a lot more than that too. Material, I need you to just look at something, access this, refer back to it. Don't edit it. Don't interact with it. Just look at it. That's material. And then reuse is probably my favorite thing. Reuse lets you pull from any classroom you are a teacher in. So when I said my teacher bestie and I, like we are teachers in each other's classrooms. So if she posts something for her bio students, I'm like, oh, I love that. We plan together anyways. So she'll post it first and I just copy it, change the name, done. Or if I post something first, she grabs it and we don't have to change anything sometimes. Like it's beautiful. It does the topic, it does all the attachments, it does like everything. And it's very, very nice for saving time. And then topic is if you want to organize your classroom. So for organization, this one probably is not the best. No, that's not a very good one. This is my first period Avid class. We have just kind of some general about me first week of school stuff, sort of like miscellaneous. In Avid, we really focus on notes and then we really focus on binder checks. So far I've got some resources here for them. Here's expectations for notes. Here's expectations for binders. And then this was a practice assignment I gave to one of my kids just to see what does it look like. But that way you don't end up with just this crazy long running list of assignments. It gets really hard to dig through sometimes. And if you have students that are like, yeah, but I need that one topic from forever ago, it will put your topics in here in the order they show up in your Google Classroom. So you can filter just by topics. So your kids are like, I don't care about any of that. I was absent week 1. I just want to see what we did in week 1. And it'll bring it up kind of in this more expanded view. So you can kind of see instructions, attachments, things like that. And then if you're like, okay, wait, no, I need to see everything again, you go back to all topics. So I love topics, love, love, love them. And something else I've noticed as like a little kind of fun to do No, I haven't done any this year. If you look at this assignment right here, macromolecule foldable, there's like bread and DNA and cheese. In my classes last year, I would do topics with those little like emojis as well. So it kind of helped my students just find things because I'd be like, oh, it's the one with the plants. Okay, so if I go look at past topics, I thought I had some in here. Actually, okay, so like this one, okay, food webs. Plant goes to bunny, goes to wolf. Great. So it just kind of helps to bring it up a little bit, like make it stand out more for your kids. So something that you can do if you're interested. The website I use is emojicopy.com. Super easy to use if you're interested. That little trick does also work in like Google Drive. So if you're trying to name files, name folders, you can put those as well. And a little side note, they always go to the tippy top if you have it sorted by name, as those characters go before even the number one. So if you're trying to make things really easy to find, that is something that works there too. So like within my folder, I've got a little check mark, a little lightning bolt, because I need those things at the top. So just kind of a side note for you guys. But emojis just to kind of help things pop a little more for your kiddos. So where the really cool things come in are inside of assignment. So these are new things. I'm not an expert yet. It's only my third week of school too. What I tried with my student earlier was a practice set. These are very, very cool. It acts sort of like an interactive worksheet. So it even tells you, create this interactive worksheet. So if I were to go in and I were to, I don't know, maybe I put, my kid is doing math problems, like 25 plus 7. And they're practicing how to like break up. Okay, so one, Google's already like, is this the right answer? Okay, cool, thanks. If I'm like, how do I, if anyone knows what this is called in Mathland, if I break apart my 7 or break apart my 25, I don't know, he does this like little tree thing. Adding, adding 2 numbers. I don't know. And so it's like, oh, do you mean? I'm like, sure, a 2-digit and a 1-digit. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Okay. And then what's kind of cool too is I can go in and I can add videos. So I can be like, oh, here's a hint. Don't forget to break apart, blah, 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 whatever the instructions are. I'm out of my content area. Don't forget to blah, 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 blah. Then I can also go into YouTube and I can be like, adding a 1-digit and 2-digit number. And it's going to be like, I don't know. Let's just pretend I have no idea. I've watched this. I vetted it. Yeah, that looks great. And I've added my video here. When my kids go in and they're looking at this practice set, first thing it does is it gives them a tour. Right? So it's like, hey, and I had my student do this and he's like, oh, okay, I get it. So I can click here, and then I can click here. And he like legit went through it and he's 16. So your kids, however old they are, walk them through it, have them look at it the first time. So let's say 25 plus 7 is 28. All right. And I'm like, awesome, I'm done. And I check my answer. Immediately it's going to be like, ooh, sorry. And then I'm like, okay, it's 30. Check. Oh, dang. Okay. Not quite yet. On his screen, there was right there, a little light bulb. And so it pops up. They're like, hey, if you're stuck, try this. So when I said at the beginning, like we might get to that on the spot intervention, this is one of those ways. If you are trying to help your kids kind of develop a skill, this is a way to do that. It's not the only way, but it's one of the ways. There is some upfront time you have to put into it, obviously, to kind of find what do I want them to practice? What are their hints going to be? What are their extra resources going to be? But if you're looking for, I just need my kids to practice and to get real-time feedback. And there are 36 of them in the class, and I can't be at all 36 desks at the same time. This might be an option for you. One of the other really cool things that I can't wait to try out with my chemistry class, because they're all learning English, is a read along. And I've looked at it a little, and I don't see anything specific to chemistry, but I think I can pull in my own content. And so I can have them practice, which this I have to look into some more. I don't know this part. But if you're just trying to get your kids to practice reading, so any of my elementary friends in here, sounds like there are lots of you, this might be something that you do with your kids. They're learning how to read if they're young, So there's leveled reader. So I can tell it, I don't know, my kids are between a 501 and a 600. These should all be perfectly applicable at reading level. These, I love these. As a parent of a kindergartner, these are amazing. They kind of help. So you can pick, what do you want your kids to do? So let's say you're going to have your kids read Can I Dig It? There is built-in AI. I think her name is Dia. And she listens to your student as they're reading, and she offers help. I know it's not really a she, but looks like a she. So I'm going to try it as a student just to kind of see. And I tried it at my house, but my home computer doesn't have a microphone. So we're going to learn together and see how this works. Okay, so start. Okay. Sure. Allow while using the site. Okay. Dogs like to dig. Thank you. A cat can dig, also have foon. No, it's supposed to tell me I did something wrong. Pigs dig a lot. I've. Yeah. So in the tutorials, it says she can understand what I'm saying, and she'll tell me this is how you get better. So again, learning with you guys. Dog. I don't know. I didn't actually read it. Oh, okay. So she's going to help me. For all of these, I don't know. Okay. So she'll go through and she'll help me. It says in there, she's supposed to be able to tell me what I'm doing well and what I need to work on. So that I got to look at. But my brain is exploding. For my students who are trying to learn English, if I have them all reading at the same time, no one is going to listen to what other people are doing. So I'm like, okay, how do I bring in chemistry content, but still have them practice and have Dia listen and kind of help them along the way? So something I'm looking at, but I wanted to just show you. This is new. I think Glay unveiled this at our Spark Week over the summer. And so I was not there because I was teaching another class at the same time, but seems very, very cool if we're either trying to get our kids to learn how to read, or like in my class, they're learning English. What better way than to practice out loud when really no one is paying attention to you? So that's one option. There are also a bunch of new pieces up here. So Gemini is our kind of RUSD approved AI tool. If you have not done the RISE course and the new acceptable use policy, that will get turned off. I believe they said in October. I'm not super involved in the AI world with ILE, but I believe what I heard was that in October sometime, there's a hard cutoff where if you haven't done those two pieces, like the RISE course and the acceptable use, Gemini in Classroom will get turned off. It is only the third week of school. I have not tried this out much. However, there are pieces that you can ask Gemini to do within Google Classroom. Okay. So maybe we're doing a quiz. This is 9th grade, 5 questions, macromolecules and characteristics of life. we're kind of just getting going. Okay, so here's some learning objectives. Great. We'll define the four main types of macromolecules. Yeah, okay. So that seems like it sounds okay. I want to go multiple choice and short answer. Gemini, please make me some questions. Notice I didn't have to leave Google Classroom. Okay. I can now export this. Okay. I can add it to class. I can tell it, I want this to go to my test class, and I want this to be a quiz assignment. Now, granted, I should have already checked and vetted and make sure everything is correct. I'm just trying to hurry along for explanatory purposes. Okay, so this is my test quiz assign. I didn't have to go out and do anything. I just clicked on Gemini from within Google Classroom. If I go to my test class, it's fine. I come here, there's a test quiz. In theory, this is a pre-made Google form that took me all of, 5 minutes. Granted, I didn't vet it. I didn't look at it to make sure it was okay. And you should do that. But for kind of quick new features in Classroom, because I see I'm here for the extras, I got you. I'm trying to throw them in where I can. That is one piece as well. The last one that I called out in kind of the intro, I think the last one, was the interactive videos. So there are these videos that you can make. So if I'll just stick with macromolecule theme because that's what's on the brain. I can be like, yeah, I watched this video and it looks great. I can go to add questions, and Google is amazing and creepy and I love it. It already has put in questions for me based on what's in the video. So what are the small subunits that bind together to form larger units? Something. If I try it as a student, it should be very Edpuzzle-like. And I've used this with kids last year. Okay, so we watched that video. Great, here's my first question. I don't know, I wasn't listening. Okay, continue. Oh, I got it right. That will continue. If I'm like, oh, I actually didn't like that, I can go back and edit, or I can say I'm done. Now, in theory, there's a macromolecule video that's got, I think it said 6 questions already ready to go in here. This is, I believe, how you would go and you would give that to your students. So I would go create, and I would go assignment, and I would go YouTube. And then I would look for my video activities. Bam, attach. Okay, Google's like, hey, make sure you look at this. These are all suggested. Let's pretend I've already looked at it. I've watched it. We're good. Here's my video with all my questions. I say assign, done. It's like Edpuzzle, but it's all within Google Classroom. I never had to leave. Okay, I'm going to pause. That was a lot, and it was very rogue live demo, try to do some quick intro, and then show some like, hey, here are some cool things. Can I go back? Can I show you anything? Do you have questions? Do you want to click and play and try? Okay. I'm just going to run back through this, make sure I did not miss a whole bunch. Oh, okay. Okay. There are 2 more things. When you are scheduling work for more than one class, especially my secondary peeps, I saw a couple of you in there, you can push out to all classes and have them all show up at different times. I just want to show that in case you did not know. And then you can do student groups, and other students in theory will not know what groups they're in. So I'm going to use you guys just so I don't accidentally group my kids in real life and kind of do something crazy. So if I go to groups and I go to create group, I can be like, you know what? Shadeen and Henry are going to be a group. Okay. They are my blue group, whatever. Create. Okay. So here's my group of blue. I can go create group and I can be like, this is my red group, Nancy and Stephanie and Marcia, create. So now if I go into my classwork, I'm just going to, I don't know, create a question. How are you? Okay. When I go to who is this for, I should be able to go in and actually pick. Maybe it doesn't work on question. Oh, duh, all students. I should be able to pick, who do I want to see this? Do I want it to be blue? Do I want it to be red? Do I want it to be all of that? Do I want it to be everybody? Who do I want it to go to? So if you've got maybe, I don't know, maybe you've got reading groups, or you've got, I know these kids are always faster and ahead of everybody else. I need to give them some enrichment, go a little deeper. Maybe you have them in a separate group and you just push them some extra pieces. Hey, watch this video. There's a cool thing about blah, blah, blah. I thought you might like this. And then it's not going to get blasted to everybody. You can do it on the stream as well. So you can, in your stream, you can be like, hi, but instead of going to all students, I actually only want this to go to the blue group. Don't forget, we have whatever, enrichment ice cream making at office hours this week. Don't forget to come by. Okay, so not everyone's going to see it. It's only going to show up on those kids' streams and those kids' classwork pages. So if you're trying to kind of, how do I get certain things to certain people without having to go through? That's fine. But what did I click on an accident? I don't want analytics. So instead of going like create, whatever it is, and then click on, okay, I want it to go to you and you and you, because when you get a big class, that can take a while. But if you miss someone, etc., if you set up those groups ahead of time, you should not have to do that. There is an analytics page since it popped up. Kind of talk about it really briefly. This will show you, and I'll just show you on my classroom. This will show you kind of a snapshot of who has done what or who hasn't done what. So I have a student that hasn't visited my class page in the last week. I'm not going to rat them out on our training, but I got a slacker in the room. I have a student who has turned in over half of their assignments late. Google's like, hey, you might want to check in on this kid. Maybe look at them, see if they're okay. And then it will tell you kind of, here's their progress. I've got some kids who are, they could use a little nudge, but that's there as well. And then there was, scheduling. If I'm making a, whatever, I don't know, test, please ignore, just in case I accidentally schedule this, I go to schedule. I teach, no, sorry, I lied. Go here. I teach more than one bio class. So I'm going to say for both of my classes, then I'm going to say schedule. I see third period before I see fourth period. So I want this to go on September 2nd. And third period for us, third period is at 10:41. I always schedule a few minutes early. So I want them to see it when they get here at 10:41. Fourth period, I want it to go on the 2nd. I see fourth period at 11:44. And so I can go from here and I can say schedule, and now it'll show up in both classes, ready to go at 11:40 for fourth period and at 10:38 for third period. So that way I'm not having to go in and make it or go in and reuse it. I can go kind of one-stop shop. This is my thing. Please push it to these kids at this time, these kids at this time. I use that feature all the time. For any secondary people out there or elementary, if you have more than one class for some reason, maybe you do, like my kids' school, they rotate teachers. So maybe you have your English onlys and then you have your DLI where you're teaching in Spanish. You've got 2 different classrooms for that. Maybe you schedule and you post those that way. Okay, we are just about out of time. I'm so sorry there wasn't more like play and try, but with an intro level at the beginning of the year, it's a little, there's a lot. So can I pause? Are there questions I can answer? Things I can go back and show you? Hey, you mentioned this. Where'd you find that again? Before we move into wrap up and time card and stuff. Thank you. I feel like it was a fire hose, but thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so we are going to come all the way down here. Okay, so I will get this into chat for you guys so you don't have to type this out. But if you could please start, not that one, if you could start with